Greetings, friends. This is Tom Cash. Today I'm going to do a video about Presidents Kennedy and Johnson and just share a few things that we have in the collection for both of these presidents or former presidents. This is a book that my dad got years ago, and it's the life works of John F. Kennedy. And it's pretty interesting. It gives a lot of historical photos of the Kennedy family. And it's a pretty interesting read. So something kind of cool that we have. Another one was a photo that the family got years ago. Kennedy at a program. And here you see him walking. And then another one right here. It's interesting where he and Barry Goldwater were having a conversation together. So even though, back in those days, even though you ran against each other, they were still friendly towards one another. This next item is something pretty interesting. We have two 8mm film reels. They've never been played, to believe it or not, because I just don't have an 8mm projector, and I could probably go rent one and see it. But it's a whole, it's personal information and footage from the JFK family, and then also one for Robert Kennedy, who was also assassinated. So we have film footage for both the Kennedys here that Dad picked up somewhere. And then additionally, the other Kennedy brother, Ted Kennedy, did make a run for the presidency years later. And as everyone knows, he was a U.S. Senator. And so these were a couple of his old political buttons. This is a hard to find button right here, a Kennedy for President button back from late 1959 and 60s. Then this was an anti-Kennedy button, Stop Kennedy. A lot of these were just small, plain little buttons that would stick on. Then moving to Lyndon B. Johnson, or LBJ. He, after the assassination, he took over as president from being vice president, and then ran again in '64 and actually won that election. This is a cool license plate, and it's, let me just scroll back here a little bit. All the way with LBJ was a campaign slogan, and I think that was pretty effective. This was an actual postcard of JFK and the Kennedy home. This one I think is a button that was an LBJ button. It says, "I used to be a Republican, but now vote LBJ." This was the running mate, Hubert H. Humphrey. So this was their joint president-vice president button. Again, LBJ in the USA. I thought this one was funny. This was an anti-Johnson button, LBJ for ex-president. This one right here was interesting because you can flip it and it catches the light and it says LBJ for the USA. This one's kind of interesting. And it actually says King Lyndon the First. So funny LBJ button. And then another one, Win with Johnson. And this was one of Dad's favorites. It has a ribbon, and this was from his inauguration in January 1965. So this was, it's got the donkey right here. Again, the slogan all the way with LBJ. You can see that. So just, spooling back here a little bit, this is kind of some of the items that I found of interest that I wanted to share with the public about the Kennedy and Johnson campaigns from 1960 and 1964. So enjoy, folks. Thanks.